Good to be back.
Little 2-month hiatus.
Yeah, almost 3 months. It's been, I guess 2 months almost to the date.
Yeah.
September 1st.
Yep.
Last time we posted, though, was probably in
3 months.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months.
What have you been doing?
Man, I've been head down in work, and that's it. Just work. Nothing else.
Same. Actually,
Well, you've been
plus
crushing.
fitness.
Yeah.
Plus fitness, yeah. Yeah, you know what? The last one, I think I verbally committed to like being in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was only 1 week in, and I think right now is,
Yeah.
I think today would be starting week 11.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
because
have not stopped.
you brought your one of your first meals too.
That's right.
As we were talking about with Drew, the really dry chicken and rice.
Yep.
But got to crush through it. Yeah, I've done nothing but work, and the weeks are just flying by. We're just in such, I think you are too, building phase. And I mean, looking back, have you ever not been in a building phase?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, if...
I think you just always feel like that, but then when you look back in retrospect, you think, oh, well, it was pretty relaxed during this season. Or
You
for
should
these few
always
weeks or
be in
something,
some
but
form of building, right? And then
I agree.
your capacity to take on additional things at the same time grows, so you can constantly stay in like this like pressure cooker,
Yeah.
moving in the right direction or the wrong direction sometimes, but that ultimately leads to more knowledge and info to continue.
Yeah, I agree. It should just be nonstop. I mean, it's been nonstop growth ever since I started Fifth Element.
Yeah, you've had a good trajectory so far.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And it's just been crazy. And then when there's seasons of not getting new clients, we're getting new employees or starting to offer new services. And there's just always been mass amounts of uncomfort. And dude, I've learned so much in 2025. I thought I knew some things going in, and I know it'll be like that every year. But last year, I mean, same thing. I thought I knew some things going into 2024, learned a lot. And this year I thought I knew some things, and man, it's been crazy because we've just had explosive growth on top of personal growth with June and so many things in the personal life.
Yeah.
So it's been a crazy year. And now it's November, and it's like, I feel like in the last quarter, I feel like when the holidays come around, that's when people like tuck their tail and start realizing like, oh man, I didn't do what I said I was going to do this year. And reality starts setting in.
Yeah, you have it's kind of like a mile marker. It's like, hey, the year's basically over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you start feeling this like guilt, and everybody kicks it into high gear in September. And that's why, maybe we're like September sales event. September is a notable month for people in sales because people are coming off summer, the slump, and they realize the year's
Yeah.
coming to an end, and people start making life-changing choices again, just like they do in like January.
I could see that. I've never experienced that. I've
I think your business, the sales cycle is so different.
it's just it's much longer, more methodical. Your stuff is probably a shorter pitch to sales to working together.
Yeah.
I'm involved much earlier. Everybody's moves in the construction world they're just long. There's just a lot involved, and I'm always in some form of I guess call it sales for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I don't have a season where I feel like, hey, it's summer, we're all going to enjoy our lives for a little while now. You know, I'm always on, even through the holidays. However, the holidays, I love the holidays. And I do my best to slow it down. I think I get a burst of optimism during the holidays, and it's not I think it's because everybody tends to relax a little bit more, and people understand that there's some days off and things are going to slow down a little bit, and everybody just agrees. Well, people just stop emailing and calling usually, but January 2nd, they make up for it.
Yeah, this year January 2nd is on a Friday, so that's a something I told. I'm like, I wonder if people are going to be off or they go back on just real quick for the weekend. Be an interesting thing.
I think the go-getters will be back on.
Yeah.
I don't ever fully disconnect, by the way.
Our office is back online by January 2nd. I told everybody, obviously, you can have New Year's Day.
Yeah.
But I think you should use your long sales cycle to your advantage as well. Because you have to think of pipelines.
Yep.
And if your sales cycle is very short, like someone doing door-to-door sales, well, if they don't make the sale or the connection right there, like it's over.
Yeah.
So if you're not filling your pipeline with leads and opportunities constantly, it's going to run out in a matter of like days. Yep. Whereas businesses like yours, the partnerships are so much bigger. If you can front load a pipeline, you have like months and months and years to work on these things. And it doesn't mean you could take days off, but it's a lot harder to build your pipeline. But I think once it's built, I mean, case in point, big construction companies, they kind of turn into giants, and like you can't even touch them at that point. You can't even reach them. They'd have to make significant errors over and over again, you know?
Yeah. I guess you're getting into what our main topic should be, which is clarity.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's jump into it. We're going to talk about staying focused.
2025 in a nutshell for King Stud Contracting was all about growth and learning. Mm-hmm. As you know, I engaged with Bet David Consulting to learn anything, everything, make connections, all of that. And what I thought was going to be, this is a perspective thing, so I'm not going to make it sound negative because it is positive still. What I thought was going to be the booming year, 2025, because I'm doing all that, turned out to be, I don't want to say the opposite, but not at all what I thought it was going to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with like shell shock from learning new information and being challenged to really hyper focus and look at everything we are doing and are not doing. And then I took all the advice, all of the information, started using it, started looking at everything, realizing I don't have SOPs. I didn't even know what they were. I've said that a million times. Learned how to hire people, hired people, realized I didn't do it right, got rid of people, learned how to utilize the people that I have, how to trust people, how long you need to train somebody versus, you know, there's micromanaging to the point where why are you even spending money on the person? And then there's, I trust you, go and get it done even if you mess up. There's a balance between that. I learned that. I went both ends of that spectrum and paid the price on both ends of that. All that to say 2025 did not turn out how I thought it would based on the efforts put in. And it's, what are we, 10 months into it?
Yeah.
And now what I'm realizing is you can't do too much all at once. There was a Alex Hormozy video that I watched in the sauna the other night that I'm like, and it was in a nutshell, which Bet David Consulting has definitely mentioned this several times too. Sometimes you really need to just focus on one thing. They've said clarity a million times, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around that. It bothered me in the very beginning because they asked me, what is the goal? What are you going for? And again, we've talked about this too, and it's always more. I want more money. Well, obviously, that's what everybody wants, but I've never had a clear, specific goal. And I've spent this whole time we've been off, really, 2 months, really trying to figure out what that means to me. And I kind of reduced everything down to, I need a certain specific type of project. I need a certain type of job that's a certain dollar amount in size, a certain duration in time, and a certain profit margin. And I'd thought that before, but I've honed it down to that. And then I started looking for brands. And I had this mile-long list of brands and things and people to go after. And I'm like, that's even too vague. That's even too much. And everybody here has been spread thin trying to, chip away at each little one. And that's where the clarity comes in. I'm like, no, we need to pick 3 people, and we're going to go one at a time until that door is closed for good and keep going. And we're not going to move on from this task of getting that specific targeted project or person, we're not going to move on until we either get it or we don't get it. It's one thing at a time. So there's that's the one specific we're going for this year and next year. Oh, I guess next year even.
Yeah. One of the things I just listened to, it was another Hormozy clip, and it was simple scales, fancy fails. And I think what happened was when you got into your coaching, they're fantastic. They're great. But they had you do a lot of fancy things, like right off the bat. Like SOPs are great, but everything they had you do was great. And I'm not saying you don't need any of that, but yeah, I think what happens to you and I is we go through waves of thinking you need all these things because you like compare yourself to other companies that may have them, or you think they have them, but they really don't. They just look put together. And then you realize at the end of the day, it's like doing the work that gets you the outcome that you want is often different than what you think it is.
Yep.
And you start focusing on all the tiny things like, I need a ticketing box for my email system. I need SOPs. I need to record these videos. I need to do all this, which you do over time, but you have to get back to like the things that really matter, which are just getting new opportunities. And like, you only have so much time in a day, getting paid on time, nurturing your current opportunities. And I think I learned a lot this year too about putting time into things that actually don't pay off or don't matter at all.
Right.
And I've been working on honing my focus in a lot, especially in these past couple months. And I feel like I'm doing a better job finally, and I'm starting to feel really good. Because the problem is when you start doing all those little things, for you and I, they start affecting our personal, like our mental health too. Yeah. Because then you're like, I'm working so hard and I'm nothing. And then it's like, yeah, is doing 10 SOPs at midnight going to get you Ace Hardware?
Yeah, no. Exactly.
Like in the long run. Have you noticed these guys like Hormozy? I think he's the best example of this. Maybe PBD too. They are very scrappy. Like they shotgun start, from my perspective, things, and they get into it without overthinking.
100%.
And like if you like...
And they don't wait.
No, and I'm going to butcher this explanation, so stick with me here. If you go on Hormozy's website, acquisition.com, it is not a super fancy website. If you look at his email newsletters, they are not fancy. They're just text on a white background. If you look at his social media, it's just him talking. It's all like so simple. He just is really good at finding out what moves the needle and what doesn't.
Right.
And like we're getting caught up on way too many small things. And I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs do. And like you're spending, so the problem is
overcomplicating.
Yeah. And you're making decisions all day, every day as an entrepreneur, you and I both. And the problem is you're spending time making decisions on things that have way less leverage than others.
Right.
Because like if your decision making was what events to go to, or what kind of content or what kind of marketing or what kind of strategy we're making for this year, or what our budget is for the next year, those are much more high leverage decisions than responding to an email in a certain way or like all the tiny things that we do, you know? And I think you have to like recategorize. This is how I've been explaining it I was talking to Ralph about this today. I feel like I could bring Ralph up every episode. I don't know if it was Ralph.
You work with him all day, so.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I was like, literally me, family, the guy that's like, I'm so stressed, I'm so this, I'm so that. And they're complaining and they're like, this was me a few years ago, I'm going to get CBD gummies. Yeah. And then you were like, do you work out once a day? You should probably work out once a day. You should probably do that first. And we're piling on all the CBD gummies when it's like, why don't you open up your day with the big things? Because answering an email 2 hours later or 6 hours later, it's not going to make a massive difference, and like really reprioritizing what you and your staff do. Because I think it's also really easy to hire a bunch of extra people that are doing little things. Like I did that and I had to fire someone because I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah, optimizing who you already have and eliminating dead weight, and not even dead weight in people, but dead weight in
There's just a lot
apps
of
or steps to get to the end or whatever. So one of the things that I did, and I think we talked about this on the phone the other night, and this is so simple, but it's really eye-opening. People ask me about stuff often. I give whoever advice if people ask me about being self-employed, entrepreneur, or whatever, right? It's very easy to listen to somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And to say, oh, this is what I would do.
Yep. But for some reason,
for you, for your own business, it's very difficult. So I just started asking myself questions, and I started giving myself advice as if I was a different person. And I'm like, this seems so much easier than you think that it is, because it's like, well, what is the problem? Mm-hmm. Do you not make enough money? It's like, well, I guess not. I feel like I work too much and don't make more. I feel like I pay more people, but I don't get paid more. And you just keep doing that and boiling it down. And I'm like, oh, the jobs just aren't profitable enough. And that could be only a few things. You underbid it. You've got too much, or your team is taking too long to do it.
Yeah.
Or you're paying employees or subs too much to do it. Or, or there was a mistake, whatever. It's very easy to look at it and go, you need more money. So get better jobs or get better people. Not more of the same and hope it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm giving myself advice as if somebody else told me my issues, and I'm like, okay, do X, Y, and Z. It seems pretty obvious, and that's how I got down to, okay, we need to start going for these specifics, and also having for me, this doesn't really apply to you, I guess, but there's a lot of negotiating for us. Especially in the larger scale jobs, which I don't even think I'm allowed to talk about some of them. I had to do sign NDAs and whatever, so I can't talk about too much of that. But you get to a price where you go, here's my bid. Mm-hmm. They go, can you sharpen your pencil? And you're like, okay. So you do that.
Yeah.
And you really do find where the sweet spot is, because everybody's going to go in like, here's what I would like to make. And then you start coming down and you go, well, these subcontractors and these people and these things, they're too much for me to go any lower. So then you have to go negotiate with all those people and then really think about how much time your team actually needs, and then start reworking payroll and admin and all these things. And you really do find out what the bottom line number should be. And you get to a point where you make a decision. Do I want to let this go?
Yeah.
And I have a real hard time saying no and letting things go. I've worked on that over the last few years, but that's going to change drastically right now, because I know where that number should be. And what I want to do, simply put, is half the work for the same amount of pay.
Yeah. I think you need to have your baseline. And I was looking at our monthly revenue, because ours is all subscription based, and noticed like, man, I bent the knee on too many of these. And like, it's all nickel and dimes, but across 100 accounts was costing us like a ton.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I could go back to these people and say, hey, I need to bump your stuff up. And that's what I did for a couple. And then for anyone future, I was just not afraid to lose the sale.
Yeah.
I just did that with 2 in a row, and I was worried, and I was like very worried, but it's not worth it, because you just keep shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep.
And yeah, with yours too.
There's a time and a place for that with,
new partners
or a new brand or something like that. But overall, you should know your worth. And simply put, there are going to be people that can do it cheaper than you. The quality is going to be less. But if you have to explain that to somebody, it may not be a good fit. And I've probably done 100 jobs that I shouldn't have done because I was worried about losing it.
Yeah.
And they also didn't turn into any other opportunities.
Yeah, and imagine if you did 50 jobs or 30 that you did at the right price.
Yep.
I don't know how the revenue math works there, but I'm sure you'd be a little bit happier. I think
half the work, same pay, right? And that doesn't mean I want to work less, but the idea is the right job at the right price. I'd rather be spending time on business development or coming up with new ideas or making new connections with my quote unquote free time.
Yeah.
If the workload cut in half to make the same amount of pay.
Yeah.
But then if you have time to market and attain more of that type of work, now you're going to be making quadruple the pay because you could do double the work. I don't know if the math worked out right there, but you know what I mean.
Let's talk about, I think a lot of this is reframing. And I think that's what Hormozi's so good at. He's so great at framing things in a way that everybody else can understand.
Yeah,
and like he's really good at doing elementary things or doing big things in an elementary way. But if you keep like peeling back the layers on his stuff, you're like, he attacked it. He didn't just explain it to you in an elementary way. Like he did it in an elementary way too, and it worked. Why does it work so well? And I think it's because he frames everything different. And I think we get way too far in our own head.
And emotional.
Yeah, and you get way too emotionally attached, which obviously is easier to not be as emotional the more money you make. But something I've been doing with Fifth Element is, so we're both service-based companies. Yeah. That's something we can we have
in
common. And so the interesting thing about service-based companies is you're actually running two businesses in one, and the problem is you're often neglecting one of them. So the way I've been thinking about Fifth Element is for the past 5 years, we've been really good at the one business, which is delivery.
Yep.
Like you can't grow if you're not good at doing the service itself. We have to get results. But the other business that I've been neglecting, because you're literally running two in one, is getting more business.
Yeah, same.
Like, yes, it's all inside of one, but no, it's two things. It's getting really good at operating and delivering, and then there's a whole other business that you're running. Your job is to actually be really good at getting new business for your other business that does delivery.
Yeah.
And you need to be spending a significant portion of your time on that. And the problem with you and I is we go months and months and months only focused on delivery, only to come up for air finally and go, what the heck's going on? I haven't got any new. Well, it's like, well, yeah, because you don't do anything.
Right.
You don't go to anything. You don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You're just fixated on sending the perfect email or making sure this one client's super happy. When in reality, I think what could fix a lot of the problems is just doing a sickening amount of volume in the other business of getting more opportunities.
Right.
Because the more opportunities you have, obviously the more jobs you're going to get. It's easier to standardize everything.
Yeah.
It's much easier to be confident in telling a client no or sending a change
say
order.
Yeah.
And then they can feel it too because they go, oh, well, this guy's got a lot going on. It's much easier.
Yeah.
Versus when they know you're just like one-man show or you're their only active job, like they can tell and they know they're going to take advantage of you. But it's hard to switch into that brain, and there's a lot of noise, and I've been doing a few things to help me switch into that. I've noticed every week, like if you look at your week on paper, they're identical. And some weeks you do really good, and others you feel horrible. But the tasks that you did, the emails you answered, the decisions you made are the exact same every week. It's purely just perspective.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing now is coming into the week and splitting my brain into two. I have delivery brain, that's one half the business or one business, and how do I grow Fifth Element? And when I'm in one or the other, I'm operating in silos. If I'm in one, I don't even
compartmentalize for sure.
Yeah, and I'm starting to realize a lot of the emails I'm getting, a lot of the communications, they're fine if I answer at the end of the day or the very next morning.
Right.
If it's an emergency, I'm absolutely going to get on it right away. But when I'm in that one silo, I shut the other one off.
Yep.
Because you have to be all in. And then when I'm in the other one, instead of jumping in, and I know it's different, our models are different, but instead of jumping in every single client communication, I am working through my three managers now, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize the more preparation I put into my one-on-ones with the managers and my Monday morning meetings with the whole team, they're starting to take a lot more responsibility. They're doing significantly better. And I'm basically like, I'm not just giving them free reign, because that's a problem when you hire someone and you don't give them any training, but I'm also not breathing down their neck. And I'm just doing a one-on-one with each of them on Mondays in addition to the company call. And then I check in with them on Thursdays. And obviously I'm really talking to them every day, but I'm doing like a deep one-on-one with them on Mondays. and then more of like a check-in on Thursdays to see how the week's going. And then they're sending me reports on Fridays about what happened, issues that are popping up, and then preparing for the next week.
Right.
And all while this is happening, my inbox looks identical to what it did the weeks when I felt crazy and was pulling my hair out and was jumping in every conversation. My bank, I mean, it looks the same, unfortunately, because it hasn't been very long. But like everything looks the same. Our client satisfaction, now that I'm talking to them less, it's the same.
Well, mentally, if you know you are optimized and if you know you are doing the best you can possibly be doing,
you're going to feel better.
You're going to feel better.
Yeah.
And like you say, the inbox is always going to be full. The text message
always.
is going to be full.
And that's what
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You want that. I mean, there's worse problems to have. You know, you could have an empty inbox.
Or empty account.
Or an empty account. Yep.
It's hard to explain. What I'm trying to get at, though, is I'm noticing this is a framing issue. And like the difference between, if you go back and watch a ton of Hormozi's content or these big, like these entrepreneurs that you want to be like, the difference is they're really good at cutting out the noise and just working on the stuff that moves them forward. Because the noise for me is always Slack messages and emails. And I'll waste a whole day on Slack messages and emails.
Yep.
And then I'm like, what am I doing? Whereas if you do the things that move the needle, in my experience, I get energized from them. And I'm really stoked.
Yep.
Like it feels good to crush that for 4 hours. So then when I go back to now catch up on all my emails, texts, Slack messages, I am full of energy and I feel good and I can fly through them. I don't know if this makes sense to anyone else, but this is how I've been working lately because I'll go weeks and months.
Well, anybody who's on the move and growing is going to have some similar version of this where they're pulling their hair out and stressing. So I think it will make sense. But it doesn't even matter what business you're in. Everybody's going to have these issues.
Yeah, I think you have to you need to sit with yourself and simplify. Not you, just in general, because this is what I
still need to
lately.
As well.
Simplify. Like think what moves the needle and do it in Asana. And like I prioritize my tasks as low, medium, high or red, yellow, green. And if I always just did it by date. So I was like, this one's due today. This one's due tomorrow, which got me caught up in a rat race. Whoops. And focus on the big things first. It's like putting on your mask in an airplane or your oxygen before putting it on someone else, you know? Because the company's going to burn out and die, or you're going to burn out and die before.
I've been using Asana since you told me about it, and it's dialed in, and I love it. It's a huge help.
Yeah.
And I still use, I'm weird, I still have multiple versions of notes. So I have Asana. Asana to me is more about delegating than it is for, it's delegating and,
well, I get caught into that trap
research
too.
And lookup. So
I get caught into the trap where I use it to delegate, and I don't do my work in there.
Yeah.
And I go back to
I document everything in there. So what I was going to say is, so I delegate in there, and the whole team now is fully on board, and they use it. I also go in there anytime I have a conversation, if it's a new project, new client, or just current, whatever it is, I go into the place. Like each job now, we have a whole template. And we store all the documentation for everything, plans, permits, whole 9 yards in there. We do project updates in there. And then if I have a call with somebody about it, I go in there. There's a project notes section that I use. I let everybody see it, but it's just for me to make notes. So I'll say, I just talked to so-and-so today. Here's what we talked about. Here are the action items. And then I assign people from there.
Yeah.
But it's a place where I can go look up who I talked to and what I said. Because oftentimes I talk to so many people so often that I'll have to go like, man, what was the last conversation with that person about that new job? And I can go in there and look at it so I don't sound like an idiot when I talk to him again.
I need to show you how we're using it now because we simplified it like crazy and it's extremely powerful now. And dude, when AWS went down, we were dead because everything runs out of Asana. Let me show you this after we're done recording, because anytime anyone on the team takes a call or interacts with the client, we call them status updates. It's like an after action report. And when you fill all the notes in and all the information, it blasts it to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
It's super helpful, but
I think we have, well, as long as you invite each person to the
to the project.
To the project, they get it. And that's what I do. So everybody essentially sees everything, except I compartmentalize. We have like an estimating project.
Yeah,
that it's me, Kate, and the estimator.
Yeah.
Then I have an office one where it's just me and Kate. And then we have all the projects, and whoever's working on the project is in there too. But then what I was going to say is I also still use just the Apple Notes app for super priority stuff. So each day at the end of the day now, this helps me sleep. I skim all of the Asana stuff, and I skim the email for important things and people and jobs. And there's stuff that only I can do. And those things will have deadlines often.
Yep.
And I'll make a list that's usually like 30 items long or so. And I always label it the next day. So right now it's going to be called Tuesday. I have to change it. And I just chip away at those. Like those are my go-to. When I wake up, the first thing I do is go through that and figure out which ones of those that I can chip off. Then I get back into Asana. Then I get back into whatever everybody else needs from me at the time.
I essentially do that in a different way every day. And I think that's the problem. It's a like never ending to-do list.
I like that though. So look at. So I make them check marks, and I checked all those off today. And at the end of the day, I will delete those and I'll add a few more.
Yeah.
And this works really well for me. I have to have my own like personal thing that nobody else is messing with.
Yeah. You got to strip everything clean and make it very easy.
I also made, this is going to sound stupid. It's very simple. Where did it go? Let's see. That's you. Okay. So I just read this now each day to remind me, because I'll get so busy and I'll draw a blank and I'm like, what am I doing?
Same.
And this
you have everything in the world to do.
Anthony CEO duties. Morning. These are like scan items. Scan Asana. I have to check Office in Asana, estimates in Asana, and then review bank accounts. Just literally skim my bank accounts just to see if anything weird happened. And then scan the email. So this is morning. I'm scanning Asana in 2 different areas, bank account and my emails. And then there's a bunch of other shit here. Okay, so and then at EM, the PM stuff, same thing basically. Go back through Asana emails. These are for different reasons. And then at the end of the day, I'm directing people in Asana with all of that. So I start it with
the following day.
Yeah, so I start the day with scanning those 4 things, which always trigger me to be able to write my list and tasks for everybody else. Like I can make my day's priority list just a simple scan. Because don't you ever go through your email or Asana and you'll read something that has nothing to do with something that goes ding, light bulb. Oh my God, I forgot to blah, blah, blah. So that's what creates my notes app and helps me delegate in Asana. And if I do that twice a day, just scanning it, any weird thing that's in the back of my head comes out and I can put it in Asana or in my to-do list for the next day, and it helps me sleep. Yeah.
No, I do the exact same thing. I think it's just in a slightly different like medium, but it's the exact same thing. My places are Slack, Asana, and my email.
Yeah.
And your life is dictated by them if you don't be careful.
For sure.
Really easily. And that's what happens to me. I get caught up in chasing, and I think everybody does. You're like owned by your never ending inbox, and you have to, you got to take control at some point. What is, you just spun off like 4 ideas in my head. How many people are on the team right now?
7.
So you, Kate, Chrissy, Lauren, estimator's already 5, and then the other 2 are in the field.
Yeah.
Lauren's in the field. So you
Lauren's
have 4,
in the field.
4 in the office.
And I have a Central California site super now.
So how many?
Killing it. Amazing. Best hire ever so far.
So how 4 in the office, 4 in the field?
Lauren's 50-50.
Yeah. But we can call them field. It's like if you're in the field, you're field kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
My question is, what helped me level up was getting me out of, I'm still very much in the day-to-day. So I'm not saying I'm not. I am extremely in the day-to-day, like extremely. But significantly out of it compared to how I used to be. So for Fifth Element, the departments we have delivery departments, the people doing all the work. For you, that'd be people in the field. And then we have our client success team, which does a ton of work, but they do all the communication with the clients. It's like 150 people, and they organize all of the to-dos. They are task masters. They're not doing the tasks. They have a lot of tasks they have to do on their own, but a lot of them are communication based. But they are communicating with the clients, handling every single piece of communication, and then taking all of the future to-dos and giving it to delivery and then monitoring. And it's like this, it works perfect. And the second they took control of all of that, it just cleared up so much noise for me. And for you, you have so much noise because you're like trying to make CEO moves, but then also, you're probably not doing this, but in my head, what it looks like is like you're trying to do that. But then it's like Sunday night and you're trying to be like, okay, you take the van and you do this. And I need you to go to this place tomorrow. And I need you to go to this place tomorrow because you're still being the PM. You're still being the PM.
That's lessened quite a bit since I have elevated Lauren and said, hey, you're going to start doing project management duties and like lead site super duties. So he's really stepped up and he's handling a lot of that.
Because
the communications with the clients, though, here's the problem.
They want to talk to you.
Not only do they want to talk to me,
a lot of it's
I'm wrapping my head back around.
Level.
Only I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's.
So if that's the case,
before
you need to
it was to get rid of that. But then I'm like, no. I need to get rid of other things so that I can always do that because they are high level.
Yeah,
and it's always attached to dollar amounts, crazy deadlines, favors, relationship building. These aren't things anyone else is like approved to do. And I'm flat out not ready to give anyone else the authority to make those judgment calls.
Yeah. So it's almost like, I mean, if that's all you did all day, let's assume you didn't do let's assume you didn't also have to chase down money and like work on partnerships with subs and organize all the guys and all those things. Like how many clients could you take on at once? Like if you were just a master communicator.
Endless.
So
I have not found the limit of.
Which means there's a problem somewhere else. And it's like, I have no idea what they do, so I'm not judging by any means. But
I need better quality projects.
It almost makes me think like, what of your things could you give? Could Kate and Chrissy be doing? Or
so this is a good point.
The estimator, because it's like I genuinely think because we're like almost at 100 clients and we only have not 9 or 10 people on our staff. And I start thinking, I'm like, I did like 35 by myself. Something's off. And then I think of you and I'm like, something's also off. We're getting bloated in certain areas.
Yeah.
And
well, with all the chaos that's happened and just all the trial and error on new systems and things, and then realizations of, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Now you have less money to operate. What that did is reduce the size of the team.
Yeah.
And really showed the true colors of the core 4 here, which I can't tell you how, like if there's one big positive takeaway from 2025 for all the chaos that it brought,
you found your guys.
It's confidence in them.
Yeah.
And not just like them being capable of doing more, but them jumping in to do more. They just,
I agree
they
with
see
that
the pressure
as well.
And they just simply stepped up and there was no, it's the 4 horsemen. We literally have like a text thread about that. They all stepped up. I'm super impressed with all of them. Like everybody's like this Swiss Army knife that's like, no, we can do this with less people.
I think you can, yeah.
And now it's everybody's kind of just like taking their own path without even me saying anything. And even the estimating department, that's taken a ton off of my plate. So there's a lot of communication for like Kate and Chrissy just handle a lot without me even telling them anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff now.
That's good.
Lauren's clearly excellent and knows the whole A to Z tasks from the start of a project to the end of it.
Yeah.
And he just never really had the confidence because I never really told him like, you need to do all this and you need to pay attention to all of that. And the minute that I did, he already knows it all. he definitely asks me questions often about, hey, am I approved to do this, and can I tell them that? Mm-hmm. Which is good. I'd rather have anybody say, I think I should do this. Am I okay to do that or say that, before they just fire it off and maybe it was inappropriate, or maybe it was bad timing or whatever. So I like that everybody will ask questions before they do something they're unsure of. Mm-hmm. But everybody's good. Everybody's doing what they need to do. We really found a boiled down, reduced, optimized version of the admin side of things, no doubt. And that's freed up a lot of room to find new subcontractors and new employees, and that's been going really well too. Over the course of 2025, I rewrote a new subcontractor contract, like my own. I'm not using a template. It's excellent.
That's good.
Then you guys just rebranded that pre-qual form for me. That's another layer of reducing problems down the road by saying, if you can't get past this form, we're not even talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think going back to, like, how do you hone in on your day and finding clarity for yourself? It's like, I think it's easy to give the rest of your team clarity, but not yourself.
Yeah.
Which probably happens with you often. And just how you are able to give advice to another company, another entrepreneur, another person, or your own employees, and have them be dialed in for the day. You need to figure out how to do that for yourself. And it's like, you have to take control and clearly define your own roles. Because, like, you get stuck in having the freedom and flexibility. So you'll procrastinate on emails. You're like, I'll do that later. Or, oh, I really want to do this right now, when you should be doing something else. But it's really easy to control someone else. Be like, I need you to do this right now. And they do it. Yep. And you have to, like, do that to yourself.
That's the discipline part.
Yeah. I think you just need to define what is actually what's going to get you to the next level. And it's like, it sounds like you just have, like, if you really boil it down to just the core boulders of what you're doing all day, it's like customer service, finance, your finance department. And I guess it would be like 4. It's like customer service, partnerships with, like, subs and corporate teams, finance, and then growth.
I think you could reduce it more than that to the 2, like you said, where it's like
growth and delivery.
Yeah, growth and delivery.
Because partnerships, customer service,
that's all part of
finance. That's what I keep saying. I don't know if anyone else looks at it this way. When you run maybe even not a service-based business, a product, but when you run a service-based business, you're running 2 businesses. And the problem is way too many guys that are self-starters, blue collar, even what we're doing, we're treating it like a contractor does. You get really, really good at delivery, and you never even start the second business. Dad never did it. So many contractors do that.
Yeah.
You never start the second business. When you start your service-based business, you need to get good enough, or you need to get excellent or really good at delivering. And then you need to immediately figure out how to run a whole nother business, which is called growing King Stud Contracting. Yeah. And you need to focus so much of your time there.
Yeah, word of mouth has, like, a terminal velocity. Like, you're only going to grow so fast with word of mouth. Like, it will find its cap, and it will just stay there. And if you build a team and gather more things around that, your profits will just go down. That's kind of what happened here.
Yeah, when you're just focused, same exactly at Fifth Element. When you're just focusing on delivery, you start doing a really good job. The cool thing about word of mouth is it's like a bell curve. There's like this exponential period where you go, holy crap, we're killing it. I need to hire more people to make sure that we can deliver at this rate. And then you get to the point where, word of mouth burns out. There's a peak.
Yep.
And it can actually crash you, or you just plateau for a really long time. And you hire all these people. And so I just went back on our revenue for the past 12 months. We've made the same amount of money for 12 months. My margins have just gone like this.
Yep.
Because we're doing more and more and more work, and we're just hiring more and more people.
That's exactly 2025 for me.
And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Okay, what's going on is for 5 years, I never started the more important business, which is growing Fifth Element Media, Inc., growing King Stud Contracting, Inc. You have to do that. And you need to prioritize it. And it goes back to, don't take the CBD gummies. That's just answering emails. You're just trying to race your inbox. You're never going to beat it.
Yeah, you're a
do the things that are going to help you grow, because and the problem, the trick is that doing that makes you feel disgusting. You're like, oh, it's making content, it's improving this, it's going to this event, or it's reaching. The good thing is a lot of it.
Those are bad behaviors you have to correct, though.
Yeah, you have to go, no.
It's like going on vacation once every couple of years and you're guilty the whole time because you're like, I should be doing blah, blah, blah. Exactly. And it's like, no, you should be here.
Yeah. And I think you need to. I'm only 1 week into it, so I can't talk about it too much. But
we were supposed to be in Hawaii right now.
Were we?
We were going to make it a once-a-year thing, and that's a good case in point.
Yeah.
This year zipped by. We should be going. Yeah. It's already been almost a year. I think we're not. I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah, me neither.
That's
if you asked me now, I'd be like, no way. I can't go. No
Absolutely
way.
not.
You need to, it's like as simple as like making a strategy, sticking to it. You deterred from your strategy quite a bit this year. You and I both.
Man, I think that's all part of the process, though.
It is. Yeah, and there's a significant amount of learning. Also, it just goes to show. So I actually posted it on LinkedIn. We'll see how people react. I did every Monday morning I do a meeting with my whole team, and I did the best Monday morning meeting I've ever done in my life today. I spent not all weekend, but a good chunk of time preparing an actual visual, and it's a 30-minute meeting. And when I take the 30 minutes in the past, there's a lot of fluff. It's stupid. I don't know if it gets everybody off on the right foot at the beginning of the week.
I'm glad you followed that up with on the right foot.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was literally thinking that. And I really spent a lot of time with a full 30-minute packed value, crushed it. Everybody was fired up, it was perfect. And
that's good. That's excellent.
Sticking to that plan, like it just started. I don't even know where I'm going with that, but well, now you have your Monday morning meeting template. Yeah. And I'll show you that after this too, because it's actually not even that. Oh, anyway, what I was getting at is the thing that I talked to everybody about. So the first 20 minutes are like all these updates and important things. The last 10 minutes, I just thought of it randomly last week on Thursday, and that's what made me prep all that for that 30-minute meeting. It was called Don't Be a 95%er. So 95%ers, you drop the ball at the goal line. You do all your work. You don't follow up with the client. Like you have a killer pitch call, you don't follow up.
Yeah.
It's the last 5% that are separating us from the crazy guys, because we do all the same things, but all the excellence is in that 5%. Like the examples I used were Michael Phelps. He's like the most. He has the most medals.
Decorated swimmer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Olympian.
Yeah.
The difference between him and all the others, every swimming Olympian, I guess, practices 6 times a week. He did 7 times a week. After a year, it's 52. He didn't even miss Christmas Day. It was 52 more practices he had. There's Olympics every 4 years. He came in over 200 more practices, and that's just a little 5% difference. Or like, for Tom Brady, his 5% was things that everybody else thinks about, but they don't figure out how to optimize it. For him, it was like he was picking the right mattress and the right pillows and the sleeping conditions and measuring blueberries.
He won't eat red.
No, he was all the way down to the 5%. And what I tied it into was, did you know that 95% of businesses don't reach $1 million in annual revenue?
What are they selling? Stickers?
That's what you think. So the difference between 95% and 100%, just that little 5% gap, are the people doing $10 million to $100 million a year. Like it doesn't even make sense.
Say that again.
95% of businesses don't even reach $1 million in annual revenue. So the difference, and that's what the talk was. The difference between 95% or the 95th percentile, and the 99th or the 100th percentile is King Stud and Amazon, and Then you start to think, okay,
with the 5% of extra effort.
Yeah, it's just that. So then
I get it.
Basically, what I'm getting at this whole time is
it's only a small additional push to get that significant gain.
Yeah, and what 2025 shows you is, oh shit, the difference between this and that That's why it's so hard. Everybody gets caught up doing what we just talked about this whole episode. Yep. And it just shows how important the tiniest little things are. And it's crazy. Once I read that, it's mind blowing to think the difference between you and massive companies is five. It's literally 5%.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how you look at it. Obviously, I'm framing it in an interesting way.
No, I totally get it, and I think mindset is
It's all framing, and that was the premise for today's thing. I was like, don't be do the 5%.
So, I just wrote this down. It was in my head last night, but wrapping up 2025, and I know we have 2 more months, and that's a lot can be done in there. Which these 3 words are going to be driving the next 2 months for me. What I've really boiled down all of that, if I could, it would take so long to explain 2025, but if I could wrap all of that up and say, what did I learn? Discipline, grace, clarity.
Yeah.
Those are the things I learned that I'm currently working on and what I will maintain working on. And what I mean by that, the discipline is in that 5%. Mm-hmm. The discipline is don't take CBD gummies, actually go exercise before you do that.
Yeah.
And I've already physically put discipline to the test. The grace part of it, this is a really big deal for me and definitely for you or people like us, which is if you did the best you could do in the hour, in the day, in the week, don't beat yourself up over it. If you truly did the best you can do, and there was a lesson learned, because there's always fires to put out, there's always issues and problems that are going to be had. If you did the best you could do, you learned from whatever mistake or situation that was, and it's now in your library of that's not going to happen again. Mm-hmm. The only thing left is grace. You have to say, I did a good job. I did the best I could, and that thing won't happen to me again. And then move on from it. And then the clarity part is, what are you doing and what is the goal? And not, I want more money or I want this or I want that. Specifically, what do you want this month, this quarter, this year, 10 years? Exactly what is it? Mm-hmm. And I've struggled with that, and it seems like such an easy question to answer. I still don't have a specific answer. I know what the goal is for the next 2 months. And that's clear. We're going to go after 3 people, and we will not stop until we hit a wall and have, either learned what we did wrong and why it didn't work so we could pick the next 3, or we land them.
Yeah, and I think I think the goals need to be very simple and measurable.
Yep.
And I think there's no shame in saying your goal is the goal's 10 million in annual revenue. Because the other thing about business...
Well, there's layers of goals too, though, right?
There's so many ways to get there. And I think you just need to... I literally put a sticky note on my computer, and it just says simple scales, fancy fails. And like every decision you make is simple scales, fancy sales, or fancy fails.
The fancy fails are doing too many things, too much, and then being spread too thin is how I'm interpreting that.
There's so many different things. Focusing on...
Yeah, simple is, you could really break down simple and say...
Just do the work.
or just let more people know you exist.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to open that one up because I'm going to give you some stuff. Man, I put in a lot of work these past couple weeks with Ralph on how to do that, and I'm going to share it with you, and I think we should have a whole episode on how to make more people know you exist.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, that'd be good.
You
definitely know more about that than I do.
I did a lot of... prep.
I spend exactly 0 time letting people know I exist. I've been stuck. That's the problem. In the word of mouth.
You're putting me too, and you're putting all the effort into one. You're neglecting your second child.
Yeah, 100%, and it drives me nuts. It really bothers me.
Yeah, and man, so much of it, what you just said, is the grace part. Because if you looked at someone else's business and life from your perspective, like on paper, you'd see that it's pretty, like for us, of course we have our ups and downs, but it's like, oh, you're doing a good job. It's just steady.
Yeah.
But then in your head, you're coming home on a Tuesday and you're like, God, and it really is just boiling down to your mental health and how you're framing things. And you are thinking that this is so bad and we're sucking and all these things. Or then the next day you're on a high and you're like, to just measure like, a few key things.
Clarity. Yeah. That's where the clarity comes in. And I went from pre-2025 when I signed up to do the Bet David consulting stuff. Mm-hmm. I just knew I have gone so far from where I started to where I'm at with zero book reading, with zero coaching. There's nobody in my life that I can look up to or ask questions to about what I'm doing and how to be better at what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I've just looked back and went, wow, I've come a long way. And then but I was already frustrated with why is this not moving further faster? And I'm like, okay, I need help.
Man, there are so many resources online too.
Yeah, there is, but
it's hard to get to the core.
What I was getting at is my issue is all or nothing. And this is a problem in every category of my whole life, all or nothing. So it was even the consulting. I went into too much. Yeah. And nobody there told me, and why would they? Because they're selling me something too.
Yeah.
Nobody said, can you do all of this? You're going to do like 5 or 6 calls a month with homework and books to read. And then you have to put those to action and then come with a whole new topic the next month for 5 or 6 more. I'm like, I can't do all this. I have a folder this thick with advice and notes and things to do. And they're like, hey, did you follow up with so-and-so we hooked you up with? I'm like, I did, but then what am I going to do? I can't fly there or do this or go and do that while working, while reading, while doing this. It's too much.
Yeah.
And I went all in on it when I should have said, yeah, let's start, but let me only do these for now. Mm-hmm. Let's get those moving. And then you just hit a wall and you die off and you're like, this is stupid. I made a bad choice. But that's not the case either. It's not all or nothing. It's clarity. Pick a thing to improve, master it, pick the next thing.
Yeah. I think it's set your goals. Simple. Scales, fancy.
The fitness thing's really helping, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and
twice
it's like
a day.
Doing all this and being a dad.
Non-negotiable twice a day.
Yeah.
Fasted cardio
and
in the morning, weights, heavy weights at night.
Treating that like a business, you just shifted your internal list of priorities and said, fitness is at the top. Yep. Next to wife and kids.
I've never done that in my life, and I've had to prioritize.
And now look business. How incredibly successful it's been.
Yep.
And if you just, inside of your business, you have a list of items, and we were just talking about this, about how difficult it is when you're neck deep in your current list of priorities, how difficult it is to remove one from the top and move it down.
Yeah.
Whoops. It's very hard, and you did that with fitness, and you need to do that with your business and like pull. It's just so tough, and put that new business in your top one. It needs to be your top.
Yeah.
It needs to be like you need to step out, extrapolate, back up, and go, my brain is now in 2 modes, delivery and growth.
Yeah.
As a service-based business, you only have 2 things to do. And of course, there's a billion things inside of each one. But it's just, am I in delivery mode or am I in growth mode? And I think it's as simple as like block, and then breaking it down into a few tiny other things. I'm in growth mode. Inside of growth mode, am I in like content creation? Am I in traveling?
Yeah, and you can pick the one. And
yeah. And we should really, really dive into growth things, because I'm doing a gooder job right now. I'm doing a better job right now. I'm actually in a pretty good spot in these past 4 weeks, and things are starting to, not saying everything's perfect in delivery, but like it's working out, and I'm excited to share that stuff with you. But if I had to summarize this whole episode, I would say that all of these challenges and issues are 100% perspective and framing.
Definitely.
Because
2025 gave a lot of perspective.
Dude, it just gave it reset my priorities from having the baby to like getting the house to a trillion things happen at work, just like you. And it's all perspective. You have to remember there's people far more successful than you with more kids, with more troubles, with all these things. And it's like, gosh, they had the same 24 hours.
They're resilient. And I think,
and it's just,
I think they can control. I think you need to get to a place where you can control your emotions a little bit better.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace and have
a lot
clarity.
of it is emotional, and because that's what perspective is. It's your emotions.
Yeah.
Taking over on how you handle certain situations.
Yeah.
So
there's been a lot of spinning my wheels, stressing out over stuff you shouldn't be stressed about, neglecting things you should be stressed about, like fitness, literally.
Yeah.
For however long, it's like, I'll get to that. It's like, no, you're going to die.
before you get to
You're going to die before you get to it. This
Yeah.
has to be priority. And forcing myself, I mean, it's the whole eat the frog scenario where I don't want to get up and the first thing I do is do cardio and then get in the cold plunge after that. So I'm doing that too.
I think,
But doing that, waking up and going, oh no, you're doing that. Regardless of how you feel today, you are doing that.
Yeah.
And exactly 0 times did I regret it when I got back. Just the cardio part, which then sets the pace to the day. Now you have a list of things and you can look at them and go, God, these all suck. Doesn't matter. You already did a sucky thing.
Yeah.
Now just start chipping them away because you feel accomplished at the end of the day, regardless of more money coming in, regardless of good news coming in. You did a bunch of things you didn't want to do. You got uncomfortable, and now you can go to sleep better.
And I've
slept so much better since all of this, by the way.
Dude, yeah. That's the working on the other business. That's working on the growth. Because, like, you have no insurance on your delivery.
No.
Like, just focusing on delivery, there's no such thing as insurance on your growth. You can't protect your growth. The only way is working on that second business and...
Yeah, putting in the reps. You know what's a really optimistic way to look at this for both of us? Earlier I said I've put exactly 0 effort into that other business, which is...
It all just takes reps.
Now imagine you go from 0 to where you're at now or 0 to where I'm at now without doing any of that. What does it look like when you start doing that?
Yeah, what does it look like when you just put 20% of your effort into it? And that's the...
I'm guessing one of these podcasts is going to be... I can't believe we didn't do that sooner.
Yeah.
Look how fast,
Look how
fast you got to a different place. And there's no reason why we couldn't have done it prior.
You're doing business on extreme difficulty mode right now.
Yeah.
You're literally dancing for the rain. Like you're just hoping that it's going to rain.
Yeah.
And
which is wild.
Yeah, you're an idiot to think that it's going to work that way, and that's why that's why 95% of businesses don't get past.
You have to like step out and look at it sometimes. I think I mentioned it to you on a phone call.
That's why it's not growing. I'm not feeding it.
Yeah,
duh.
I do meetings with Kate, and we go over like accounts receivable, payable, and new jobs coming. Whatever. It's once or twice a week we'll do this. And often it's filled with putting out fires. A lot of construction stuff is pivoting and problem solving. That's fine. I got a thick skin. I'm used to it. That's why a lot of people love me, because no matter what it is, I will work it out at usually no cost to them. It's like, I'll figure it out, right? That is stressful. And I have these conversations with her often about all of these things and what we're doing and how we're taking care of people. And I think the last time we did it, or the time before, sometime in the past 2 weeks, I was sitting in the chair and I just had this like epiphany. I'm like, we've been having this same exact conversation every week for almost 2 years.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's the definition of insanity.
Yeah. Same conversation.
Yep, every business does.
And then we both said, no matter what's happening, we have to start putting time into the other business. We didn't call it that. It was into getting more
that's
work
how
or
I
whatever.
thought of it.
No matter what. It does not matter what else is going on, because what is the point of any of this? And the other thing too, which hurts my pride and ego, is I have ideas for the core 4 here that can help get us to a place we need to go, but I don't want to ask them to do more when I can't give them more.
That's exactly how I feel too.
You know?
And I think
that's awful.
And I think that's like you just got to swallow it.
But I think they all would.
Yeah, and I think they would too. I've had those conversations with my team, and they do.
It's like you as the leader, though. It's your job to say, "I want you to do this, so I can give you that."
But it's also your job to grow the business. Like,
for sure.
That is quite literally your number one duty. And yes, you need to give them help, but in the long run, years down the road, they will be far more upset with you if you didn't focus a significant amount of your time growing the company.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like
they're all so dedicated. I'm super impressed with everybody lately, and I feel so good about it. And if it wasn't for chaos and issues and problems and 2025 in general, I wouldn't have known that.
I think as a service-based entrepreneur, your number one job, you need to quickly get good at the service. What we've done has taken me 5 years to learn. It took you, I mean, you never stop learning. I've just happened to have done it for 5 years. So I'm not saying it took you 15 years to learn.
Yeah.
But it takes you X amount of time to learn. And what they don't tell you, nobody, is your job as a service-based CEO is learning how to grow your company.
Right.
And what you get stuck in is the reason. So I believe it's 80% of businesses are service-based companies. It's because that's the easiest way to start entrepreneurship is trading time for money.
Right.
Like starting a product assembly line is incredibly hard if you've never been an entrepreneur or software. But so that's why most businesses are service-based, because you're like, I could clean windows or I could wash cars and make some money. But then what happens is you get into it and you're like, I'm a good entrepreneur and I know what I'm doing. It's like, no, you just got really good at doing more in less time.
Right.
You never switched into, you need to get just enough staff and resources so that they can do the service. And then you focus all of your time on growing the service-based company.
Yep.
And that's what 2025 has taught me. It's like, oh, you're going to cap out. You're going to tap out and cap out in
There's
so
a weird
many different
balance
areas.
too, because you need, let's say you start getting more clients, work, projects.
That's why you have to simplify your services, your core services, and you do need those SOPs. I know I was talking against them earlier. You need your systems in place to ensure quality.
Yep.
But you need to hurry up and do that so that you can then focus all of your time on growing your service-based company, because it's quite literally time is money.
Yeah.
And you're just burning resources.
And I think the smaller the more specific your service is, the better. So what I want to talk about in the next episode is growth. And the really great thing for you and I that we've recognized, but we haven't really dove into, is our, so there's an acronym for this, but I forgot what it was. Our target avatar is the same person. Oddly enough,
identical.
Yep.
Which means all the work that I'm doing for our growth and you're doing is pretty damn identical.
Yep.
And there's a lot to...
Yeah, if we don't leverage that, we're stupid. Did I have an accent when I said that?
And that doesn't mean we need to like make a company together. I mean, obviously, we've discussed that. It'd be sick. But what I mean is for like our marketing and our growth tactics, it's the same person.
Yep.
It's the same person. So...
Yeah, we need to leverage that immediately.
Yeah, and I want to go through some stuff with you off air.
Because there's brand recognition, and then there's also last name recognition.
Yeah.
That's a unique thing that...
Yeah. So, okay. Last thing. Do you want to wrap up?
Yeah.
Tiny last thing.
It's my anniversary, and I'm here.
Yeah.
So, happy anniversary.
I'll save it for the next episode. I'm excited to...
Prep it.
We're doing our mark. Oh, it's prepped. It's already done.
No. What
I was going to talk about?
Oh,
for the next episode.
You're talking about the target. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So recap.
Really, if I had to recap it and keep it simple, I think everything's coming down to a few core things. One, you're running two business. When you run a service-based company, you're running two businesses, and everybody's neglecting the second one, which is growing your company. You're just focused on delivery, but there's two businesses, delivery and growth. And you think by doing a better job at delivery, you will grow. But the leverage on that is not even 1-to-1. It's like less than 1.
Yeah.
You're getting like diminishing returns from that. Whereas focusing on growth could be like 10-to-1. You just strike 100-to-1. I think the other thing is, as a service-based entrepreneur, you get programmed, because you talk to any other service-based entrepreneur, they say the same thing. They're the guys that don't sleep at night, and you get programmed to be emotionally attached to very tiny instances, and one or two of your clients are upset and you forget, oh, I have 98 others that are actually pretty happy and quiet often.
Yeah. Grace.
It ruins your day. So it's grace. Running your two businesses, grace and perspective. And I mean, it might just be those two if you had to simplify it.
Yeah.
It's like managing your emotions, perspective, and you're neglecting.
Which is clarity.
Yeah.
And the discipline to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Yet a lot of times it just comes down to just like making a plan, like opening a notebook and just actually making a plan.
Yeah.
Like actually do it.
I would say I would add to that hard times create clarity.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've never been a negative person. I've always been optimistic. Even in the worst of times, I'm like, I know this will pass. As long as I can pull the value out of this, that negative situation or the negative year or whatever it is, there's value to that, and that's still positive. And yeah, I think a negative period of time or a growing pains, we'll call it, provide clarity.
Yeah. There's a quote about optimists and pessimists that I think we might have talked about before. There's two quotes, actually. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty.
Yeah.
And then
that's great.
This one's cool. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents. This is a weird one. It's basically saying the optimist invents everything. I'll find the quote another time.
For difficult tasks.
Well, it's something like the pessimist is always right. The optimist is the one who always invents things. Or for this quote, it says, the optimist invents the plane. The pessimist invents the parachute.
Okay. That makes sense. Both. Yeah. That makes sense.
But basically, life's just, now I just sound like one of those guys that drinks matcha. It's like, it's all just perspective, man. Just do the work and do the work that I think the number one thing you can do is both of us have infinite to-do lists, and next to the task, I think priority level is great. That's very important. But I think you need to measure leverage and look at your task and be like, okay, obviously you have to get high priority stuff done. Fires are going to happen, but make a category for leverage, and that leverage is for growth.
Man, there's this video. I got to
high,
find
medium
it.
level,
and we should,
or high, medium, low.
There is a chart. I saw this and I saved it somewhere. It's like this grid, and it's how to prioritize, whether it's like you,
4 quadrants.
Now, somebody else, delegate, whatever. Yeah, and it's so powerful. And you could, I guess you could also view that through the lens of leverage too, because there's simply going to be times where you just have to go, I know I said I was going to do that, but I'm not anymore. For example, let's say you have a bunch of small fry jobs that you wanted and you got them, and as you're working on those, some big whale came in at the same time as like, I need this now, and you got an 80% chance of getting this account.
Yeah.
Are you like, really? What are you going to do?
Sorry, man.
You don't say, no, I'm throwing you in the trash can. You don't have to do that, but you go, I know I said by this Friday, but it's actually going to be 2 weeks because I have this thing or whatever. You know, you have to prioritize stuff. That may not have been a good example, but
no, I think it's a good example. You have
to be ready to pivot at any moment.
Yeah, you just got to be on your toes. I had someone asking me to send them a contract today that we had our meeting on Thursday, and it was like a really small update. And he was really eager to get started, which is great. And I always jump on those things.
Yeah.
But anything sales related. But then I had significantly higher leverage things happening on Thursday, on Friday, and today. And he emailed me 3 times, which like I feel horrible about. But it was a perfect example of I can't let, like, that's just not as high on my leverage list, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. But
yeah, you know, every individual, every client has different needs and expectations for timing, and you know, you have to just stick to your plan.
How cool is it in business that you can take like 1 million different paths and get to the same part in terms of revenue or success? And I think you're stopping yourself, you're getting in your own way with your emotions or your perspective.
Yeah. And the speed of all of these,
make decisions.
I used to be, I guess, pessimistic and just like irritated and jealous of people when I was maybe, your age, 23, 24, 25. I've got friends that are buying houses at the time or starting families, stuff like that. And I'm like, we went to the same high school. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And they're making whatever, 90 grand a year. And I'm like, how on earth are you even doing that? And I would get upset about it. And there was I don't even remember when it was, but at a certain point, I'm like, stop worrying about what other people are doing. You're creative, you're talented, you're smart, you're this, you're that. Just go and do something.
Yep.
And when I started doing it, I caught up and passed them in like 18 months by a lot.
Yeah.
And now sometimes I catch myself in that same state of mind looking at other people significantly further ahead than me. And it's easy to go, I'm never going to get there. Like you could have these pessimistic thoughts about that. But now that I've seen how fast, like to your point, you could all start here and go all these different ways and end up in the same spot. It's all at different speeds too.
Yeah.
So if you see something you want that seems unattainable, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is.
Yeah. You just got to do the high leverage.
Yeah. And the constant do the work. It doesn't mean your income and your growth's going to go like this. You could be like this and then bam.
Yeah.
At any point.
Yeah. Or the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the just had a little moment there. The insurance on your growth comes from consistency.
100%.
The problem is you get consistent at doing the low leverage opportunities. You need to be consistent at prioritizing the higher leverage opportunities.
And we both have this. We've talked about it before. I don't remember how we categorized it, but you'll go through these waves of like 9 days in a row you're crushing it.
Yeah, and then
you'll have a slump where you're like
for like 6
you're
weeks.
Lame and you'll just sit there. I mean, you're still working, you're doing things, but you're not optimized and it's not as efficient.
Yep.
That's where discipline comes in.
Yeah.
Because those slumps are just because you're not fired up. It's like in the gym, right? You could be. There's days where you just show up and you're like, hey, I just showed up. I'm only going to do like one set of each thing I'm going to bounce. You could have just done the full workout and been like, this really sucks today, but I'm still going to do it. You're capable of doing it. So in those slumps of work where you're just not feeling it, that's just laziness.
Yeah.
You could just do the full thing with a bad attitude and say, I don't like this, but still get it done.
Just do the work.
Just do the work and fully do the work.
Everybody, it's just reps, and everybody has a different amount of reps to get to success. Like your amount of reps might be 1 million to get to success, and my amount of reps might be 15 million.
That's that Hermosi analogy with the dice.
Yeah, and you just got to do it. And basically, I think it was in his podcast.
It was some 20-minute video. Yeah,
I think I sent it to you.
The reps, the tries.
He was like, the whole point of the game is as long as you don't stop rolling,
you will be successful.
You win. Yeah. So
I agree with that.
Good episode. I feel
Discipline,
really good about this one.
Grace, clarity, me too.
Yeah.
It's nice to get back in here.
Yeah.
And we need to apply discipline to this, by the way.
Absolutely.
I think if we could keep these.
I think we wrap and do what we talked about.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Yep. Thank you.
We need to give a clear. We'll be foggy on this one. We'll get a lot better moving forward. It's kind of funny. Give a call to action. Like if you need help with these services, come after we complain about the
more about a commitment. I think. I think what.
Well, what I was going to get at is like a call to action at the end of this would be like, click the link below, and then it's like for our businesses. But it's kind of funny. We come in here and talk about all the problems and holes in them, and then we're like, and if you want help from us.
I don't know that we have a call to action, but I think we kind of redefined in our minds what this is going to be about, and we're just truly going to try to share what we are going through, assuming there's other people in these same areas.
Oh, there's 100%.
And we're going to try to learn how to speak better and deliver more clear information on exactly what we're going through, whether it's victories or failures or lessons.
I think we did a really good job with our speaking today.
I always feel like I'm stumbling. I can't.
I do too.
I can only get out 10% of what my mind's trying to say, and then when you're talking, I have 85 things I want to respond to. But
then, so do I.
If you don't want to talk over somebody, and
that's where the prep is going to come in.
This is our reps at this to communicate better.
I do think we did I feel good.
Good.
So, okay, super last thing. I saw this cool quote I wanted to share with you today. It's kind of unrelated to everything. It says, it's kind of funny. Just depends how you're looking at life. There's an old saying, if hard work led to success, the donkey would own the farm. So basically, eat bean and cheese burritos. No, I don't know. But anyway.
Man, I am so hungry for delicious food. I'm still... We're at, what did I say? This is the start of week 11.
Yep.
I've only had 2 off meals, not even off days.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job.
I think I'm down 17, 18 pounds, muscles up. No one wants to hear about that, but I'm doing good. We're doing good. We're going to do better. We're going to try to provide...
Man, 2026.
You know what?
Really is, though.
We need to make a prediction...
our business plan.
We should go over a business plan. We should go over goals. We should call it out here, put ourselves on blast.
Yeah.
Maybe
we do an episode. I think
we make our business plans. We talk about it offline, then we come in and try to deliver that in a way where we're not peanut butter mouth for 2 hours.
Or we do one whole episode on one person's plan.
Okay.
And dissect
and how we got to it.
Stab it. Yeah. To Steel Man.
If I had to guess what's going to be valuable to people, yes, are these specific instances that have value in them, but more of the process. Mm-hmm. Because if we can share our process in problems and solving, anyone can apply that to anything rather than just saying, if you want to learn how to get a client for marketing for this, I don't know, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, you know what's crazy?
Generalize some
We're
stuff.
Technically 18 episodes into shooting in this room. And man, where we're at today in this episode compared to where we started, I think is a pretty decent difference.
Are you saying where we started in my old garage?
Well, if we look at that even more.
Because that was just, okay.
Yeah. I think we've come a decent way in 18. Imagine 100 of these, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Before today on this, I genuinely thought this was going to just be an outlet, like a hobby. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm not taking it seriously, but like a fun thing. But what I'm realizing now is no, this is almost a place to work out.
Yeah.
It's work out what we've learned and share what we've learned literally with each other, but also other people.
It's very beneficial all around.
And it's almost like business therapy and business. It's like Bible study, but for business, I guess, for us at our current level.
I think we need to focus on, we can wrap this up. Let's wrap. And then I have some stuff I want to show you before you have to go do anniversary stuff.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny.
Are you showing me something now or wrapping?
No, I'm going to wrap it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Appreciate you genuinely. I don't know what to do with my
I don't know what the sign off is, but
sayonara?
No. God bless the United States of America.
Yeah, that's a good one.